Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Daughters of Valor Network podcast. I'm your host, Kay, and I look forward to you all joining me on this exquisite journey that is pretty much creating this network of individuals, this network of both single women, married women alike, who are interested in fulfilling the role of the Proverbs 31 woman, but in modern day society. So once again, thank you so much for joining. So pretty much the purpose of this podcast is to create a network of like-minded individuals who are striving to improve ourselves and society through acts of service and uplift and encouragement. And so, once again, this podcast will center around the Proverbs 31 woman, but within the context of modern day society. And so, kind of proving that daughters of valor do indeed still exist. There's often an argument stating that, quote unquote, good girls don't exist anymore. They're done away with. Where are they? They're special unicorns. No, we're still here. We're imperfect human beings, but we're all still trying. And so this podcast is also geared towards women who are looking for something outside of the mainstream. So in the past 3 to 5 years, we've seen the rise of the city girls movement, hot girl summer, and other trends or phases that are extremely detrimental to our hearts, minds, and bodies, above all. So this is something that we need to be mindful of in terms of who we are and whose we are, who we belong to, what kind of people we are, what our purpose in life is. So being intentional about everything. This podcast is meant to be kind of an easygoing kind of approach to collaboration while focusing on traditional living, but not too stringent. Oftentimes, when people think of tradition or living, with old values, they often think of pioneer days or just rigorous type of Puritan like living. And that's not necessarily what we strive to do here on this podcast. It's mainly an approach of grace, but also understanding that we as women do have a very important role to play in society. So, pretty much, it's a safe space of collaboration in which others are invited to speak. My aspiration for this podcast is that other individuals will collaborate, other individuals will come on and share their perspectives on whether that's personal or anecdotal, things that they've experienced, things that they've heard, and what that looks like. And so, a couple of topics that I think for this podcast we could look forward to would be life planning. So, the idea of letting God do the planning. However, we need to get ourselves in a space of preparation. So God's not haphazard. We can't be haphazard. We have to be intentional with what we strive to do. I'd also like to cover planning for emergencies. So things that we can do in terms of self-sufficiency, canning, gardening, gathering medical supplies, sewing, soap making, just useful skill building. That's something that I'm very keen on and something that I think would be great to introduce to the podcast and to everyone who's looking for that information. Additionally, financial planning. That's a big topic. So everything from money management or being a good steward of what God has provided, investments, rainy day funds, emergency funds, what the differences are between those, and finally, personal maintenance. So that covers, developing a personal relationship with God, prioritizing peace and mental health, in addition to just our outward appearance as well. We can't neglect that. It's not the sole focus, but it is pretty important in terms of how we show up in the world and how we present ourselves as daughters of valor to others. So, if this is something that you are interested in, please feel free to join us on the podcast. I'm still figuring out the schedule of things and how different seasons or different episodes will be aligned and kind of planned and strategized. However, I think it will be something fun and something that we could definitely look forward to. So please join me. I will leave my email address and contact information down below. So, and in the video notes. So please feel free to, when you watch this podcast or listen to it, reach out if you have any questions or concerns. So, this is just the introduction of the Daughters of Valor Network podcast. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.